Hello, welcome to Boardgames with Niramas. I'm Joseph and this is Draco, and it's time for another first impressions vlog. So this is for December, and this time there's a few more games than usual. I try to mix this up. Just basically, it's games that I have played recently for the first time. So I'm giving you my first impressions of them. Some of them I played more, some of them I played less, but I do have an opinion on all of them. So I hope you will enjoy it. We will go through it here. Now we will start though. We talked a little bit about my Kickstarter. The Kickstarter for Boardgames with Niramas is up and running right now. There's 10 days to go when I shoot this. It's going to be like 8 days when you see this probably. I'm really happy it's been funded, and you know, there's been a lot of support here, but we are also going for, I added some stretch goals. There's going to be some fun stretch goals here. If we get a little bit more here, I will start up the Boardgames with Niramas podcast that will go once a month starting in January, where me and Draco is not a talkative guy, but we will do a podcast talking about board games, inviting some fun guests as well in the board game industry. And also, if we get a little bit higher up there on the $2,360 level there, if we get that, then we will also have a giveaway where all the backers will get the entry ticket to the raffle where you can win games and promos and fun stuff. So go check that out. Even if you back for $5, you will still be in that giveaway if we reach that stretch goal. So with that said, now let's start talking about games. Yeah, so New York Zoo is the first game that I played recently, and I did a live stream for this, so it's on the channel. It's a game from Uwe Rosenberg, who designed a lot of good games, and yeah, from Feuerland Spiel. We were really interested to see this one because it is a polyomino puzzle game, but it also adds this really, really lovely animal meeples and some mechanics to how those work. They need to be in the pens, that's the tiles you put out. They also have to put out an animal on it, and then you sort of, the first one to fill up your board, your player board, with these puzzle tiles wins. But of course you will get a lot of funky shapes, so you will need some extra small pieces, and to get those you need to fill your pen tiles with animals to sort of score them, because then you remove the animals and then you get to grab one of the bonus tiles. It could be like a ice cream stand or something, and those are small, so you can fit those in there and try to be the first one to finish off your player board. Really fun game. I was surprised on how much I thought it, I liked it, and I thought it was really cute. So my first impression is very positive. I think especially, I have a weak spot for nice components and cool meeples and so on. So that did some of it for me, but also the gameplay, really fun, easy to get into, and I mean, I can really see this being played. I only played it on 2, but I can see it being played with families and so on, or different kinds of gamer groups, up to 4 players. Everyone works on their own little board, and it scales as well. So sort of like here on 2 players, you have to fill in the whole thing. But if you play 4 players or 3, I think as well, then there's like a river on the board. So some of it are cut out to reduce the game time or the game length. So I think it's very well made, and if you want to check it out more, you can check out the full playthrough I did with Draco here. And next up is Seven Wonders Duel Agora, the new expansion for one of my favorite games, Seven Wonders Duel. 2-player game where you're battling it out in this card drafting from like an open draft area, like a pyramid. I mean, the game itself is so good, and the first expansion, Pantheon, was really, really good. It's like one of my favorite expansions ever. So I had high hopes for Agora, and actually last year, at Essen Spiel, I met with Repos Production, who makes this, and I talked to them about this, and they said that they were almost finished, but not quite. So they, they kept it for a year to do the finishing touches, which is such a good. I like when publishers do that. We don't rush the game out, and it really shows, because Agora is amazing. I can tell you, wow, this expansion, it's so good. If Pantheon was the sort of big cool actions you can do a few times during the game, Agora is more like a bunch of smaller effects that you keep getting all through the game if you choose to go into the Parliament board here and do those actions. You can do these conspiracies, which are really, really cool. That's my favorite part of this expansion. You get to draw 2 conspiracy cards. You choose one of them to keep, and it's hidden from your opponent. Then you need to prepare the conspiracies. You need to spend an action to take a card from the draft pyramid and tuck under that, and then that card is ready to use. And then you can use it as a free action before your main action, and those effects on those conspiracy cards are really strong, and they can really mess with the game. And it's so nice because you put the card out there, you have it prepped and ready, and your opponent can see that, but they don't know what that card will do. So I really like how that changes up the game. Just as an example, one of the cards that I played, what I really liked was it lets you destroy 2 cards in the draft pyramid before you take your turn, before you do draft your card. So maybe you are hunting for like that, 3 military card in the 3rd age, and to win as on military, you have 3 steps to go. But your opponent can see that, of course, and they think that, well, you can't really get it because they can plan on how they are going to draft cards so that you don't get to take that card with the 3 military. But all of a sudden you can play this conspiracy that you have prepared and just remove 2 cards and then draw that 3 military and win. It's so cool. I love it. It is a lot of cool effects with those cards. And I think, I'm not a big fan of area control usually. Especially in 2-player games, it usually doesn't work that great, I think. But here it works nicely with the parliament. You're trying to have majority in these different sections of the parliament in order to, or the senate, that's actually called, in order to get a special benefit ongoing. So, like, if I have the majority in something, I might get a discount on all the red cards I purchased all through the game. And of course, my opponent tries to stop me from having that discount, because if I'm starting to go for military, wow, there's so much interesting strategy things going on here. Really can recommend Agora expansion. If you like 7 Wonders Duel, go pick it up. If you haven't played 7 Wonders Duel, you should try it. And it's so amazing. And you can check out my full playthrough that I did with Draco as well. Next up here we have Small World of Warcraft. Now this is a funny title, and I've never been a big fan of Small World. I played it a few times and I think it's okay, but again, it's area control and it's very basic sort of what you're doing, but it has some fun elements in it, and I really love World of Warcraft. I'm a big fan. I played like I don't know how many hours in that game back in the days. I don't play it anymore, obviously. I don't have time for that, but so the combination is fun, and the theme is there, and how you one thing I do like about Small World is this like variability in the game, because you have these like you have a race that you and sort of special ability that you combine randomly, so you can pick up one of those, and I really like the fact as well that you send out your troops on the map, but then at some point you will go into decline and you will get to pick another race, and with a new special ability, and they come into the map. So that's pretty cool. There's some good things in here, and I think now I only played this one, Small World of Warcraft. I only played it here with Draco on 2. I think it's better, as most area control games I would say are better with like 4 players. So at some point I would like to try that, and I think it's very well made. It looks nice. The components are well made, and as I said, the World of Warcraft theme sort of fits. Blizzard together with Days of Wonder, of course. So you have the Murlocs, and you have all these different things that you recognize from that world, and yeah, it's well made. I think if you like Small World, if you like World of Warcraft, this could be something for you. If you want to know more about it, there is the full playthrough here with Draco, where we go through the things. And well, another new thing as well compared to Small World are these like artifacts that are out on the map, so you can find those. If you control the area with the artifact in it, then you get to flip over the tile and you find out what it is, and like it could be this like hammer, like an item that gives you a special ability as long as you control that area. So that's interesting. It's also interesting with it's like the map is modular and it's different islands. So you can try to like control one island. You enter the island from the docks. So that's a bit different from Small World as well, with that like the map being the same all the time. So yeah, Small World of Warcraft. It's not. I'm not gonna say that it's a great game for me, but I like how they made it. And if you like these kind of games, I think you will like it. Then let's talk about Unlock Star Wars. Now, Unlock is one of these escape room games, and what you're seeing here is just a tutorial, so there's no real spoilers there. But it's like one of these escape room style games where you like puzzles you're trying to solve. You need to do them on time. So you have an app in your phone, and the app is like, it's very stressful. I did this in a live stream. I played the tutorial and then the first scenario. I must say it was really fun, but without the live chat, without you guys in the chat, I wouldn't have made it, I think, because I really got stuck at some points, and it's really fun what you do. I mean, I like this theme, I like Star Wars, so it worked out very nicely with how it actually fit what you were doing in the game with the theme. That really made sense. I think it was very well made, that, and it's interesting how they also used the app for different things. I'm not going to spoil anything, but they had like, you need to do different things with your phone depending on what kind of like test you were trying to complete, and that also fit like whatever you were doing. Like you could find, I'm just gonna say, maybe you find some binoculars and you're trying to look for something, then you actually pan around with your phone trying to find that thing, and on that thing there was like a number that you need to get, continue in the game. So really cool how they made this. I would like to play the 3 scenarios in this box. So I will try the other 2 as well at some point. Probably again I will do them in live streams because I need that help. Like, I mean, I don't like these kind of games solo, actually. I like it when you have people that you can discuss with back and forth, and you can try to find solutions together with. So I would like to play this with my friends, but obviously these days I can't, so I'll probably do like another live stream, maybe during Christmas time. Of course, it is spoilerish, but if you're... I mean, some people like I know myself, like even if I completed the game already myself, I do like to play again with friends and see how they come up with the solutions. So, yeah. And I also will, next week I will get another unlock game. I'm not really sure what that one is called, but it's one of the sort of, adventure style, sort of, they're not IP bound. So I look forward to trying that one as well and see how that's maybe different. It's a little bit older, so maybe a little bit different from the Star Wars one. And again, that's going to be live streamed. So yeah, I had fun with this, and if you want to check it out and see my confusion and my frustration, you can go check out this video. But I will warn you that I was very frustrated at some points in the game. My feelings for the game went up and down, but in the end I had really fun with it. So that's Unlock Star Wars. Then, time to talk about Werewolf Legacy, Ultimate Werewolf Legacy from Bestia Games and Ted Olspak. In the back here you see my unboxing, my spoiler-free unboxing that I did back in 2018 when the game was released at Essen Spiel. I picked up a copy there from Ted, and so the plan was, like I did this unboxing, the plan was to make some kind of gameplay video, which turned out that it wouldn't really work to do with me and Draco, obviously, and then I started thinking, well, maybe I can play it with my friends, a bunch of friends, and then I can do like a review afterwards, talk about my impressions of it and so on. It didn't really work out, and this Luna, by the way, as well. Draco's friend that we met at Essen Spiel. Yeah, so I never thought I would get to play this game, and I ended up selling the game because I thought there's no way I'm going to get like 8 people or 10 people together. You can play up to 15. Yeah, so I was a bit sad about that because I thought I will never get to play this game. Then recently, one of my friends from the Dice Tower Werewolf group, started hosting this like every Saturday. We did like 3 games every Saturday, and we actually by now we have played the whole thing. So this is not really a first impression, but anyway, I've been delayed on doing this video, but we had a great time. I will say that it worked very well over Zoom. What he did there, Simon, who hosted it, he saw when we were supposed to open a box or get some new things happening, because it's a legacy game, so the game will evolve as it goes. Then he showed it to the camera, and it actually worked out really nice to play it like that. So I can recommend that if you want to try this out. I will say though, I mean, I love Werewolf, but I will say that I was a bit disappointed in this game overall, because legacy games for me, I want to have like a story that like connects the different sessions of the game together and makes an interesting story, and you don't really get that here. There's a little bit of a story. It's like families and over like I think it's 100 years or something. But I never felt that there was any real choices. Like I had the same experience with Aeon's End Legacy. I like the game. I like the gameplay of Aeon's End, But even the same thing with in that one, that it's like it was more like playing a bunch of different games in a row. And like, oh, this time we have this thing in here, and then this time we have this, and this rule changed. Then let's talk about Feed the Kraken. Feed the Kraken really impressed me. This is a new game that was on Kickstarter recently, and it's from Funtails, and they also hosted these. Well, thanks to Helle from Game for Life BG, which is a YouTube channel, a Danish YouTube channel, but they do it in English as well. And so Helle here is hosting the game. She has the game set up. We're doing this over Zoom, but she has a camera on the table. It works really nice. And here's my friends from the Dice Tower Werewolf group are in. Got them in here. We played a game, and we have Hans here as well. He's one of the main designers, right? And wow, this game, it's like it's a social deduction game with it's a pirate theme. You have this board, you're sailing your ship, you're trying to get to like the pirates, trying to get over to the pirate victory. The sailors, the good players trying to get to the sailor victory, and then we also have one player that is the cult leader who's trying to sort of feed the Kraken. He wants or she wants to be fed to the Kraken or get to the Kraken spot at the top of the board. And so people, the players make choices. It sort of has the same structure as Secret Hitler, which is a game I really like as well. It's in my top 100 games of all time. And so you're choosing. Like the captain chooses 2 cards, or sees 2 cards, chooses one of them to give to the whatever it's called, the steering the ship, and the same goes for the lieutenant. And then the last person, I think it's called the navigator, is choosing one of those 2 cards. And then of course, the cards will direct how the ship will sail, and then the discussion enters where, okay, so what cards did you have to select from? Why did you select this card? And of course, people will lie as well if they are on the bad team and so on. So there's a lot of fun chat going on in this. I've seen social deduction games, and I really like that it's not just. I mean, I like the resistance as well, but this game is not just basically cards and a abstract world you're in. It's actually a board on the table that you see, and you have this physical component. So I like this board game, the mix of a board game with the structure of a social deduction game. And I really look forward to getting hold of my own copy of this in the future, so I can host games, and I will host games on the channel and do live streams. So I did 2 live streams together here with this crew. So if you want to check them out, they're on the channel obviously, and it's a lot of fun. It comes down to every time I played it 3 times now, and every time it comes down to really, really exciting end where it's like, oh, which way is it gonna go? And I think that's a really good testament to the game's quality when it's not like obvious halfway through how the game is going to end. So that's the balancing seems to be very well made in this one. So Feed the Kraken, can recommend it for sure. And next up is another social deduction game that is not released yet. Sort of it was on Kickstarter and so on. Blood on the Clocktower is a game that on its surface, it kind of looks, I guess, like Werewolf, because we are playing it over Zoom here. But it has a lot of, it's like a totally different beast, I would say. Blood on the Clocktower has very sort of, well, some very complex roles, and very, the roles are not, like the information that you get in the game are a lot of times it's scrambled, it's false. The moderator it's called a storyteller. They have a very active role, how they sort of make decisions in the game. They affect the game, sort of balance the game as during the gameplay, and sort of make choices on what to tell the players in certain, or like what would happen and so on. So it's more of a role-playing game, in my opinion. I feel like it's more of a role-playing game than a pure social deduction sort of party game, which, like Werewolf or Resistance and so on. And also in Zoom, we need to use these like breakout rooms, as you can see. So people are jumping back and forth between different rooms, which simulates in real life you would go around whispering with people in the same room, or stand in a corner and whisper with this person to share information, ask questions to each other and so on. And then you end up back in a big room like this at the beginning and the end of every day. and you will vote on someone to kill, and then during the night, the demon, the evil player, will choose someone to kill, and in that regard, it's similar to Werewolf, but yeah, there's a lot going on in this game, and you also have this website, or in real life, the moderator takes care of it. But you have the system where you vote. It's like a clock, so it's very thematic like that. You vote in a circle, and I like the voting system. That's actually pretty cool. And here with the website, you also put in you can put in notes and so on, and have like you're trying to figure out who everyone is, right? Or like you're trying to figure out a puzzle, which is what you're doing. Now, my thoughts on the game. I played it 3 times now, and I must say I had a good time in some sense, but I'm not a big fan of this game. I'm sorry to say. I know a lot of my friends here, my friends in the Werewolf group, they really like this game, and I'm happy for their sake. I'm happy that they found a game that they really enjoy. But for me, this is not really my game. I did a comparison when I talked to some people about this, and I compared it to, again, like Werewolf is more of the the lightweight, midweight party game, and and this Blood on the Clocktower is more like a sort of heavy Euro. It's like you take social deduction, you put it in a Euro style where there's so much going on, and I think the main thing that I don't like about the game experience is like different games gives you different feelings, right? Or different emotions during the gameplay. Like in Werewolf, I can be nervous, I can be happy, I can be frustrated at sometimes as well. But in Blood on the Clocktower, I'm mostly frustrated and confused, and I also seem to see that in other people as well. I mean the frustration. The discussions are way more toxic or intense, or sometimes toxic in this game than what happens in our Werewolf games, and I don't think that's the player's fault really. I think it's the game makes it so that players sort of even if nobody's lying to you, you still feel like you're getting lied to, because the game itself gives so much false information and so much confusing things going on that people get frustrated, they feel targeted, they feel it's a lot of negative emotions, in my opinion, that comes out of this game, at least in our group, and at least when over Zoom. And I know some of you that watches this, if you played it yourself in our group and so, you're not going to agree with me, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a big fan. I will play it at some points, the basic script, which is not that basic. But I will play that at some point, just because I like hanging out with these people, and I do like playing with them. But it's never going to, like, if it's a Werewolf game going on the same time, there's no way I'm playing Blood on the Clocktower. But I am curious also in the future to try this in real life. It has been on Kickstarter, and that Kickstarter will deliver, I think, next year. And then, if I get a chance to try it like at a convention or something, when the world gets back to normal, I would love to, because I think I might enjoy it more actually in real life than I do online. So that's Blood on the Clocktower. Now let's head to the next one. And the final game for this vlog is going to be about Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which is the new Gloomhaven game that came out this year. And as you might know, I'm a big fan of Gloomhaven. I played through basically the whole game. I don't know, hundreds of hours I spent back like 3 years ago when I got it. I just played solo and over and over and over. I just enjoyed it so much. And then I played the digital version the last year a lot as well. I played through the different alpha and beta stages and all that. I really like Gloomhaven, and I think the only really downside to the main game, to Gloomhaven, the first game, was that the box is huge. It's like 13 kilos, I think. And to bring that up and set the game up and then play, it's a big project. It takes forever, and once you do that, you don't really want to pack everything back down again, even though I have the E-Raptor insert and all that. But so Jaws of the Lion is like a smaller, easy to get into version of Gloomhaven. It's more streamlined. The maps is the main big difference that I really love. As you can see here, the map is just a book that you flip pages in, and that's the map on there. You don't need to set up all these tokens over here and then that there, and It's so good. It's so good, and I love how also the map gets more, graphical. The artwork really pops out. In Gloomhaven, it's more like generic boards, or like pieces that you set up next to each other, so it always looks the same sort of. Here they can do so much more with that artwork, and I think also there is. I'm not really sure, but I think there's like this coming for Gloomhaven as well, or at least for Frosthaven, the next game that's coming next year that I backed. You will have this book as well, because it's such a good idea. And there's a supplementary scenario book as well that you can lay next to it. So if you want, if some maps are bigger. And I mean, the gameplay is so good. I'm not going to go into the basic gameplay of Gloomhaven. I have a bunch of videos of it on the channel. If you haven't seen it before, you can go check those out. You can check this out. This is a ongoing solo playthrough series, so I'm not done with it yet. Next episode is coming here in a few days. And I play through this tutorial missions basically, and it's very, very cool how they made this tutorial. So like step by step, it almost feels like playing a legacy game where you step by step introduce more and more game mechanics and more effects into the game. And for me, it's like also like a refresher, because it's been a while since I played. If you're new to Gloomhaven, then this is awesome. This is so good. This is a good way to learn Gloomhaven, because it is a quite complicated game. It's one of the heavier games that I like actually. And it's also interesting because I'm not a really big fan of dungeon crawlers. I mean, I like Star Wars Imperial Assault. But what I think makes it so interesting for me in Gloomhaven is that there's no dice. Instead, it's like, these decks you draw from, you choose your actions that you play, like the cards you play. And I love hand management and how you control your hand, and your cards are also your life. Wow, now I'm starting to get into the mechanics. But yeah, Gloomhaven is awesome. And I haven't done it yet. I will do mine in a few weeks here, or like next week. I will do my top 10 games of 2020, and I think Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion will be in that list. I'm not gonna say anything more than that, but such a good first impression. This is best first impression out of this list today. So I saved it for the last, and wow, such a good game. I can really recommend it to anyone. If you're a Gloomhaven fan, you gotta play this. If you haven't played Gloomhaven, you gotta play this. Everyone should play this game. It's so good. It's such an amazing design, and I haven't even scratched the surface yet. I have over 20 scenarios in front of me. I'm so happy for that, and I won't be streaming all of them. Sorry, but I will stream for a little while, and then I will dive into my own world and solo game. Probably all through the holiday here. I will spend a lot of time on this game. Wow, it's going to be so much fun. So, Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, such a good game. I can recommend it. And now we are at the end of this first impressions vlog for December. I'll be back in January or February. These vlogs will not be a monthly thing. I mean, I do name them after the month they're in. But it's more like to keep sort of track of them for myself as well. Because it depends on how many new games I get to play. So I need games to talk about in the first impressions. I think I will play like 2-3 games in December that are new for me, and then probably something like that in January, which means as soon as I get to like 5+, I will do a new vlog. And I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoy talking about these games, and if you want to like ask me a question or about the games, or if you have any input or comments, tell me in the comment section down there. I'll always love when I get comments from you people watching. It's a way we can communicate with each other. And you can also, of course, contact me on Discord or on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and email, all those places. And yeah, Draco looks tired as well, so I think we are going to take a break before we shoot the next video. And we really enjoyed doing this for you. Hope you had a good time watching. Thank you so much, and have a great evening or morning or whenever you're watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Be like Draco. Follow Board Games with Niramas on Facebook at BGW Niramas.